How's it going, everybody? Today we will be adding team selection to our project. What it's going to allow us to do is to spawn at a specific spawn point based on the team that we selected. The way that we're going to do that is with a widget which will spawn us at a custom player start using a custom respawn event. Starting off, the first thing we are going to do is create our enumeration. So we will right click in our content browser and go down to blueprints, create an enumeration, and this will be team selection. Inside of team selection, we will add 3 display names. The first one will be none. The second one will be team A. And the third one will be team B. Now that we have that set up, we will go into our game mode for the level that we are going to be spawning the player and selecting the team. Inside of our game mode, we are going to create a custom event, and this will be called spawn player, and we'll move it over here. Spawning the player is going to run on the server, and we are going to create 2 inputs. The first one will be team of the team selection enumeration. The second one will be controller, and it will be a reference to our player controller for this same level. Now that we have that set up, we are going to head over to our player controller. From our player controller, we are going to right click and create another custom event, and this will be called team selected. Team selected is going to need an input, which is team, and it will also be of the team selection enumeration type. Underneath our custom event, we are going to get our game mode, drag off from here, and cast to our multiplayer menu game mode. We will right click and convert to peercast, and we are just going to run that spawn player event. Plug in your execute and your team value, and for the controller we'll just drag down here and type self because we are already in our player controller. We are finished up in our player controller, and we will now head over to our widget. To create a widget, you just right click in your content browser, go to UI, and create a widget blueprint. I already have one set up here, so we are going to drag in 2 buttons and title them Team A and Team B, or whatever you want your team titles to be. And from there we will go over to our graph and click on Team A, and we will do an onClicked event, and same for Team B. Above these, we are going to go ahead and get a reference to our game or our player controller. So we will get a event construct. From here, we will right click and get player controller, drag off of the return value and cast to your player controller, and we will right click and promote to variable. Now that we have a reference, we will drag it into here. That's weird. Anyways, and off of this we are going to do that team selected custom event we made. If you hit Control W, it'll duplicate it, and we'll plug everything in like so. So if you click on the Team A button, it will set your team to Team A, and if you click on Team B, it will set the team to Team B. From here, we will remove from parent and plug this in like so, and our widget is now finished up. We will go back out to our content browser and right click and create a blueprint class. This class is going to be a player start. And we will call this custom start. Inside of our custom player start, we are going to create a variable, and this will be called team, and this is going to be of the team selection enumeration. We will make this editable and expose on spawn. And now these can be placed into our level. So we will head over to our level and just drag them out like so. So we'll drag 2 out for team A, and we'll click on both of them, go to the details panel. As you can see here, we have a team value, and we will set these to team A. We will drag another 2 out for team B, select them both, and set them to team B. And I'm going to rotate them around so they face the other team. Now that we have those in, we can go ahead and head back to our main menu for testing. And as you can see, we will now find those spawn points. So we will go to our game instance and create a custom event. And this will be find spawn points. We will also create a variable, and this will be spawns found. Off of the spawns found, after the find spawn points, we are going to get all actors of class. The actors we are looking for is our custom start. And from this out actors, we will drag off and do a for each loop. From this for each, we will drag off the array element and get team, which is that custom variable we made in our player start. And we are going to drag off here and do an equals enum. We are going to set this to team A, drag off your boolean, and get a branch. What this does is it finds all of the actors, and for each one of them it will see if it's team A. If it is, it'll come off the true pin. If it's not, it'll come off false. So from our true pin, we will drag out and add unique. We will plug our target in to the array element, and we will right click on this target array and promote the variable. I've already done that, so apparently I haven't, so we will just delete these. So we'll right click here and promote the variable, and this will be team A spawns. And we will drag off the false, add unique again. And plug our target into the array element, right click, promote the variable, and this will be team B spawns. Now that we have that set up, we are going to do a check to make sure that we find at least, we'll say 2 spawns. So we will drag off of this return value, and we will do a greater than or equals to, and we will control W to duplicate this. And we'll just say as long as it finds one team A spawn and one team B spawn, then it will set spawns found to true. So from here, we'll do an if, plug our condition in, and we will duplicate that again. Do the same down here, and if it is true, it will set spawns found to true, and we'll just plug it in like so. So as long as it finds at least one of each of the spawns, or just one of the spawns at all, it will set spawns found to true. We want to make sure that finding the spawns runs on server, and we should be finished up in our game instance. Now we need to go to back to our lobby, or the map that you are spawning your characters into. I'm missing a player start apparently. We will go into our level blueprint. And inside of our level blueprint, we are going to right click and get begin play. Off of event begin play, we are going to go underneath it and get our game instance. From there, we are going to cast to our custom game instance. And we are going to drag off this and find spawn points. So now whenever the level starts, it will try to find the spawn points. And we can go ahead and head back to our game mode and handle spawning the player. So the first thing that we are going to do is actually get a reference to our game instance over here. So we are going to go into our game mode and do another begin play. Off of this event begin player, we are going to get our game instance and cast to our custom game instance and right click on add server info, promote it to a variable. Now we have a reference. So we will drag this out and we are going to get that spawns found value and do a branch. And what this is going to do is, if spawns found is true, then it will go down to our switch. So we will drag off the team value and do a switch on team selection. So if this value is true, it will go into our switch. If not, it is going to run find spawns again, and then it will start this branch over. So it's kind of like a while loop, except it does not go as fast as a while loop. So this will check it every so often, and just to be extra safe, we will actually drag off and do a delay, not of frames, just a normal delay, and we'll say of half a second. So every half second it is going to run find spawns, and if it finally ends up finding one, it will switch over and run our switch. And from our switch, we are going to drag off the team A value and spawn actor from class. And let's see, we will actually go to our characters and highlight our attacker. And just like that, we are spawning our attacker child. We will duplicate this and spawn our defender child. Sometimes it won't find it for some reason. All you have to do is go highlight it and then press the arrow. So the team is set up now, so we will actually handle the spawn transform because you have to have one. The way that we're going to do that is off of this reference to our server info, we are going to get team A spawns, and the same thing for team B spawns. We're going to drag off this and get a copy, and do the same for the team B. And then we just drag off and type transform, and we're going to get our actor transform. From there we plug team A into team A and team B into team B. And then after this we are going to want to drag off this get and type remove item. So this is the item to remove, whichever spawn it picks, and we are removing it from the team A spawns. And we are going to do the same thing for our team B spawns. This just makes sure that nobody spawns in over top of you. From the return value, we are going to possess the target is going to be our controller, and we'll do it once more. And we'll plug it in like so. In my case, I have a value to add a widget to the screen, so I will do that here. But you should not have that unless you have a widget set up as well. So now that we finished up the spawning mechanic and we are finding the spawns, we should be able to give it a quick test. So we are in our main menu and we'll click play. And if we host a server, we have not created the widget. I always forget to do that. So in our player controller for that level, we will go off of our event begin play, and we are going to want to create a widget. You probably will not have any of this extra stuff. That'll probably just be your begin play. So we are going to create the team select widget. The owning player is ourselves since we're in the player controller already. We will add this to our viewport, and then we will set game input, set input mode to UI only. And I will plug this back in and get my player controller, or self, it doesn't matter. And we'll go and plug it in here just to be extra safe. And we want to put a check before this. So we will right click and say is local player controller. And if it is, which it should always be. However, the server likes to do things first. So if it's a local player controller, it will do this, and if it is not a local player controller, it will not. Specifically meaning the server will not do it and the player will. So I'll move this all down and move all this back. So now if we click play, by the way, you do have to set as netmode play standalone and play as a standalone game to test this, if you're using Steam specifically. And we will jump over into here. So we are team A and team B. If we click team A, we spawn on the team A side. And if I close out of it and we select team B, we will spawn on the team B side. As you can see, that is how you set up a team selection widget. If you are not going straight into a lobby like I am, let's say that you're joining a server, picking your team, going straight into the game. Right here you would not do this input mode UI only. All this does is lock you from moving. What you would do is handle your start game functionality, which should be in your game mode, as it's what's supposed to handle what happens when the game is starting. And other than that, that is all I have to show you, and you all have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or message me on Discord. There is a link in the description for the Discord server, and you will have a wonderful day.